You may have heard her golden song, but you have no idea she hurt my heart. Turn into countless zeros on the card. This woman who was once deeply hurt by emotions now, it's not just about killing everyone in Las Vegas, still holding a full $50 million in his hand, even opened their own record company, Sweet Date in Daily Entertainment. Headlines: the girl who cried so hard that her tears dried up until now, the queen of commerce who controls everything today. We will talk about the most authentic situation of Kelly Clarkson. To be honest, all this information will definitely surprise you. Let's first talk about the most vulgar but practical things, that's money, because this account is really enviable in terms of calculations. By 2026, Kelly's personal net worth is expected to reach $50 million. You may think that $50 million is nothing in Hollywood, but you have to see how stable her money is. She's not the old-fashioned singer who spends the rest of her life on just one song, but he was a business genius who paved a wider path than the main road for retreat. Even if she suddenly announces tomorrow that she will no longer sing, her continuous copyright income is also enough to keep her lying flat for several lifetimes. Of course, singing is her old profession, a terrible record of selling 25 million albums and 50 million singles worldwide until today. She still receives high royalties. But interestingly, singing is at most just a side job for her now. What really softens her hands is the television industry. For example, her talk show won awards and was very gentle since 2019. It has directly occupied the top spot in ratings. She easily won the Emmy Award for Best Host, although the new season is currently airing very well. But Kelly has already said that this is the last season. She wants to leave voluntarily at the most glorious moment, leave the most perfect silhouette for everyone. This is not over yet. Her popularity on the flagship program, The Voice of China, is beyond imagination. As one of the most successful mentors in several seasons, her quarterly salary is an astonishing $14 million. You can close your eyes and feel how crazy this number is. In addition, several senior spokespersons are also queuing up for home delivery. She has collected everything from household giants to well-known watches, even the children's books she wrote for her daughter. Every year, I give her a very stable copyright fee. But if you think she's ready to lie down and count the money now, so you don't know Kelly very well. Spring 2025, she did another big thing that caused a sensation in the industry, directly invested and established my own record company. That is to say, Road Sign Records. May of the same year, she released her first single after becoming the boss. Hey, Where Have You Been? This song perfectly blends rock and blues. She first spoke in person on the square then. He ran to the last segment of The Voice of China and sang loudly. This is not just about releasing a new song. This is the news, she announced to the entire record industry. Mom, this kind of confidence is really rare among queens of the same level, but things here have become even more interesting. If you think starting a company and recording programs are already busy enough for her, then you underestimate her energy too much. She performed as a resident singer at Caesar Palace in Las Vegas until August 2026. Before that, you should know her residency performance is titled Chemical Reactions, with only 14 performances. The box office easily exceeded $10 million because there are too many people competing for tickets. The performer had to plead with her to perform 10 more shows. This is correct. $50 million is indeed an astronomical number, but even more admirable is this is the money-making machine behind her, and also her own ultimate decision-making power. But if you think Kelly's story is just about making money and pursuing a career, then you're wrong. 2026. The mansion quietly purchased in her name, will also broaden your horizons. Although she always claims to like staying at home. But her taste as a housewife is not ordinary and not expensive. Her pocket can fully accommodate her ambition. Let's take a look at her property map. Her favorite safe haven is Montana. Kelly has said more than once that the ranch and short guns, peaceful life. But this mansion her children can avoid long and short guns and live a peaceful life. But this mansion is worth over $17 million. My ex-husband, by 20 husband, of this couple. When dividing family property, my ex-husband insists that this is the joint property money. I want to take a big bite. Fortunately, the judge ultimately ruled that this house only belonged to Kelly. But Kelly is also very magnanimous. Divide 5% of the ex-husband's house payment, approximately $900 US, equally before that. I bought the entanglement and left behind my beloved shelter. Let's take another look at California in 2021. She sold her super estate in Tennessee. That house has a private dock and a saltwater swimming pool. After the selling price exceeds $6 million US, she turned around and bought an old-fashioned villa worth $5. $4 million in Los Angeles. This house was built in the 1930s, although it doesn't have many bedrooms, but the outdoor swimming pool, tennis court, and separate guest rooms can all be used. In the eyes of ordinary people, this is already the ceiling, but in Kelly's view, this can only be seen as low-key. Prior to this, she and her ex-husband still live on a customized farm worth millions of dollars. In Encino, there are 3 islands in the kitchen. There is also a private cinema and double-decker guest rooms. Since her talk show moved to New York in 2023, she rented a luxury apartment in Manhattan for convenient daily commuting from Texas to Tennessee, then to California and New York. She's like playing Monopoly, buying and selling houses on a map of the United States. Every house is carefully taken care of by her, but in these carefully crafted mansions, they are like works of art. You never thought about it. In fact, she has been dressing the wound alone all along because of the most painful nails of her life. It happens to come from the person she once loved wholeheartedly. Kelly and her ex-husband Brandon's union at that time. It's like a fairy tale turning into reality. One is a nationally recognized draft sweetheart, directly improve the national level. The other is a well-known gold medal agent. In the industry, they first met backstage at the awards ceremony in 2006. At that time, they didn't know the gears of fate have quietly turned. They met again a few years later. The spark in my eyes can no longer be hidden. Brandon proposed with one knee at the end of 2012. The following autumn, they held an extremely romantic wedding in Tennessee. The days after marriage were so sweet that they felt bored. 2 adorable children were born, one after another. Anyone familiar with Kelly knows these 2 children are her everything. Whether in front of the camera or at home, she is a mother who gave her all and achieved full marks, but behind the warmth. In fact, it has long been covered by invisible cracks. Fast forward to 2020. This layer of window paper has finally been completely torn off. Kelly sues for divorce. The reason is an irreconcilable contradiction. But this divorce did not end with dignity, but it evolved into a 2-year tug-of-war. They are angry about the ownership of Montana ranches. My ex-husband even brought an accounting dispute to court. While acting as her agent, the headlines of entertainment news every day until the spring of 2022, this marriage that existed in name only has come to a complete end. But the legal signature healing inner wounds is impossible. Kelly brought all the pain, 2020's anger and helplessness. All of this was written in the album called Chemical Reactions. Music became her only lifeline, help her through the darkest period of her life. But the cruelest joke of fate still lies ahead. August 2025. My ex-husband Brandon has been fighting cancer for over 3 years now. Unfortunately, he left this world. This news shocked everyone. Although it has been severely torn apart in the past, he is still the only biological father of the children, facing life, aging, disease, and death. Those lawsuits that were once fiercely debated, instantly becoming meaningless. Kelly didn't hesitate immediately, rejected all work, and disappeared from public view because she must be by the children's side, help them overcome the disaster of losing their father. A few weeks later, when she returned to the talk show stage, she opened with a passionate song. She didn't explain anything, but the sadness and strength in the singing made everyone cry. At that moment, everyone understood the halo of fame and fortune shines again. She was ultimately just a mother who wanted to protect her child. She is also an ordinary woman, watching her ex-lover turn to dust, having experienced the betrayal of marriage, the pain of divorce bites in court, and the shock of her ex-husband's sudden death. Does Kelly Clarkson still have hope for love? Now, what kind of person has she become today? Before answering these questions, we need to go to the time machine first. Go and see how this girl from Texas climbed step by step to the mountaintop, won the Grammy Award, apologized, show off resident singing office even before the net assets reach 50 million. She's just an ordinary girl from a small town in Texas who likes to sing alone. In 1982, she was born into an ordinary working-class family. He is the youngest of the 3 children in the family when she was 6 years old. Her parents' marriage came to an end. The breakdown of the family left an indelible shadow on young Kelly, but it also became a constant source of inspiration for her future music creations. After the divorce, Kelly relied on his mother for survival. The kind of turbulence I have experienced since childhood let her learn independence earlier than her peers. This also gave her the emotional depth that touched her heart in her voice. When she was a child, she had many ideas. I enjoy writing and drawing. I even want to become a marine biologist. Until middle school, a choir teacher accidentally heard her singing in the hallway. Whether she lives or dies, I insist on bringing her into the choir. This teacher didn't know at the time. What I casually pushed open was actually a magical door. When Kelly graduated from high school in 2000, her astonishing voice has reached a point where it cannot be ignored. Although I have received scholarships from several universities, but she traveled alone to Los Angeles with the dream of exploring the music industry. But reality quickly poured a bucket of cold water on her record that the contract has expired. Unfortunately, the rented apartment caught fire and was burned. Downcarry was penniless and disheartened, and could only return to his hometown in Texas dejectedly. But her indomitable spirit in her bones has not been extinguished. In 2002, she registered for the selection of the first season of American Idol. I believe everyone is already familiar with the upcoming story. She is carefree and outgoing, accompanied by the golden sound of God, enjoying food. Without a doubt, she passed all the tests, overcame obstacles, and won the championship. Her single immediately topped the singles chart, created the most astonishing surge record at that time. Subsequently, her debut album topped the charts. The subsequent milestone album directly established her position as a diva. These classic melodies are widely popular worldwide, with sales exceeding 12 million copies. She not only brought back 2 Grammy Awards, this also breaks the prejudice that selected singers cannot go too far. She proved herself to be a truly talented and soulful singer with her own strength. Since then, Her music career has never declined again. Understand her starting point. Only in this way can we truly understand how difficult everything she is facing now is. Therefore, after experiencing heartbreaking emotional changes and long-term self-reconstruction by 2026, what new chapter has Kelly's love life opened by 2026? The whole internet is watching the same gossip. So, is Kelly in love? Simply put, the official answer is that she is still single. But if you take a closer look, you will find that her lifestyle is actually more interesting than dating nowadays. Kelly's generosity towards being single is admirable. In a program, she directly told the master, "I am not currently frantically searching for a partner. I don't plan to stay alone forever, just because my schedule is too full." As a single mother with 2 children, she admitted that the children's schedules were even busier than hers. Her daily life is basically to accompany my son to practice baseball. She devoted all her energy to her family, and her 2-1 attitude towards my mother's to her family to find a boyfriend. Kelly revealed these 2 little guys often talk to her about finding a partner. Kelly revealed these 2 little guys often talked the man from approaching her, but this is not to help her matchmaker. Children, any on airs, and begged her not to find a new partner. Upon hearing these words, the children, Kelly couldn't help but cry and laugh. "I can only gently tell them, although Mom loves you all very much, but as an adult, a mother also needs love and companionship." Only Kelly can handle this headache-inducing family conversation. This program is both interesting and touching. Early 2026. At the dinner party, she is preparing to perform that classic masterpiece, "Without You, My Life Would Be Terrible," before singing, she joked with a microphone in her hand. "This song is suitable for everyone. I hope you both have a sweet love. Without each other, you cannot survive anyway. I haven't done it yet, so let's get started." The audience was immediately amused and burst into laughter. This is Kelly's unique charm. She always manages to turn her once bittersweet single state into a self-deprecating joke. Actually, in 2025, the media crazily hyped up her scandal with British veteran singer Searle. The reason is that the interaction between the 2 in the program is very exciting. Some people even captured them having dinner together privately. However, faced with widespread rumors, both parties agree not to discuss this matter. This also conforms to Kelly's consistent style. "Although I am usually carefree, I have very strict protection for my private life." Obviously, Kelly is not worried about hating marriage right now. She hasn't lost control of her emotions after experiencing the most dramatic divorce scandal in Hollywood. In recent years, she silently endured the grief of her ex-husband's sudden death, raising 2 healthy and happy children alone. Even able to maintain the initial humor and dignity in front of the camera, she still yearns for love, always ready to welcome the arrival of new relationships. But she will never compromise on any imperfect relationship. But her career plan for 26, just to get married. Although her love life is still in search, but her career for 2026 has been fully launched. So, how exciting Kelly Clarkson's comeback era is. Will this be the most perfect chapter of her life? Discussing Kelly's development in the past 2 years, in fact. The use of comeback is not very accurate because this woman has never come down from the altar before. To be more precise, this is an awakened woman finally. She decided to completely tear up the script written for her by others. "I have already started dealing with my own affairs." In the spring of 2025, she founded an independent record company, which was the most resounding first shot after being held hostage by major record companies For over 20 years, she's fed up with those complex business games and creative limitations. As a powerful actress who has been suppressed by various parties in the industry, she chose to take control of her own destiny. Be your own boss and publish your records. Where did you go with the new song released in May? It's like she declared independence from her past life. A lazy sound that blends rock and blues together. It's like telling the world that I don't need to look at anyone's face right now. Subsequently, she performed a residency at Caesar Palace in Las Vegas. That place is the ultimate stage that only palace-level singers can step onto since its opening in July 2025. It has become a pilgrimage destination for fans. Her playlist includes classic old songs popular around the world. There are also some new works that reflect her most authentic mentality. What is the audience most looking forward to? She covers other people's songs without hesitation. Every night, she can easily handle everything from rock band classics to country diva hits. Because the previous 14 performances easily took away millions of yuan in box office revenue. Caesar Palace extends performance until mid-August 2026. This ability to make money will only make peers jealous. In addition, her influence in the television industry is constantly expanding. In 2025, she collaborated with a television station to launch a brand new primetime program, the perfect fusion of live singing and late-night conversations. This form is tailor-made for her because once she turns on the camera, her unrestrained chat style immediately brings her closer to the audience. Although her talk show will officially cease broadcasting after the end of the 7th season. But this is definitely not a forced exit, but she voluntarily chose to bow solemnly at the summit. This confidence in controlling one's own life is really cool. Looking at Kelly at the end of 2026, it's hard to connect her with that penniless girl because of the apartment fire. She took the bus back to Texas without any money at the time. She is now a 3-time Grammy Award winner. He is the winner of the Emmy Award for Best Host. This is the box office guarantee for Las Vegas. She is the female owner of an independent record company. It is also the strongest shelter for 2 children. She spent decades the most irreplaceable, multi-talented superstar of this era after experiencing the ups and downs of his career. The ups and downs of his life. Emotional tearing after the hammer of life. No matter how the gossip headline has never changed. No matter how the gossip tomes are written. No matter how luxury homes are bought and sold. She is still the girl who stood on the talent show stage in 2002, feeling uneasy but sincere. She dares to laugh in front of the camera, also dare to shed tears in public. This unabashed truth, that is her truly unshakable business empire. Her legendary story has clearly just begun after reading Kelly's story. Did you also see the self that fell and stood up in her life? If it were you, when facing the lows and betrayals of life, would you choose to compromise, settle down, or grit your teeth like her and continue your career? Welcome to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Talk about your resonance and feelings. If you like today's content, don't forget to subscribe and support it. Thank you all for your constant companionship. See you next time.